Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode in the Ravenzcraft Arts Interviews project. In this episode, we will be having a talk with Samuel Bystrom. He is the drummer of a great band from Stockholm, Sweden called Midvinterblot. I was first introduced to their music by a friend named Antonio Yankovic. And I discovered that this band is very talented and has a very powerful energy to them. After listening to a few of their songs and their videos, I realized that this band has a very good chemistry with each other. They seem to have fun and really love and enjoy what they do. It was a great honor to have this talk with Samuel, and I discovered a great band myself. And that's really a key thing with artists or bands or any group of people. You have to be passionate about what you do because it's not easy. Midvinterblot seems like a very energetic and active band. Samuel is a very cool person, and he was willing to talk with us and tell us about some of their music and how they started their band and career. We will also be featuring some of their music in this episode, so if you like what you hear, go check them out on Facebook and YouTube. Very good band, very talented people. I just want to say thanks again to Samuel and all the members of Midvinterblot. We appreciate your awesome music and you taking the time to talk with us. And now, without further ado, here is the interview talk with Samuel Bystrom. First off, I just want to thank and welcome you to the Ravenzcraft Arts Interviews project. We have Samuel Bystrom here. He's the drummer and lyricist from the band Midvinterblot. Just want to give a special thanks and welcome to Samuel for standing outside in the cold and giving us this short interview. Bear with us here if you hear any wind or anything like that.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, so the first question I have for you is what started or inspired you to start creating music?
Honestly, it was just something in the background for a very long time. In Sweden we have a municipal, or we have something called the allmänna musikskolan or kommunala musikskolan, which basically means that everyone gets a chance to try out an instrument. And it's for free. And for some reason, when I was kind of young, I felt that I wanted to beat things, so drums felt good. But then I just kind of had that in the background, like some people have, like, yeah, I can play guitar, I play around a campfire all the time, on that level. So I never really cared about it before I was actually about 18, 19, something like that. That was the first time I realized that, I can actually make music with this. So unfortunately, this question would be much better asked to Stefan Stolica, who's the main songwriter, because he's a machine when it comes to these things. It was like, yeah, we had nothing, and then I picked the bass guitar because no one had that instrument, so I knew that I would always have somewhere to play. He's like that about it.
Yeah.
Or Sebastian, our violinist, who is kind of the same way, but in a more, I don't know, whimsy, fairy, ethereal way. I don't know.
Can you tell us a little background on how your band was put together? Like, were you guys friends at first, or how did you get that set up?
Oh yeah, some band mates might want to quote me on, like, you call me out on details here, but I didn't know the band before I started. I'm not from the same place as them. They're from Stockholm or the Stockholm surroundings, except for two founding members. One is Pamela Wasiluc, who is known as Trollgumma as well, and before that Drottning Vampyria, and then Stefan Stolica, who is as I said, he's from Bosnia originally, and they were sitting around drinking, and then they decided that, yeah, we should start a band. Like, that's just how it began. They just decided that, let's do this. And then they had some people around them, like Sten Oskar, he started off as the bass player, and then nowadays he's the secondary screamer / secondary frontman. And then Måns Karlbring, who's the I would say lead guitarist in many ways, or rhythm guitarist, depending on how you see it. They started playing and had some other people on more guitars and on drums and such.
So did they kind of reach out to you? Did they reach out to you to find you to play the drums, or did you kind of find them, or?
Yeah, I found them, actually, or we found each other. The thing is that I moved to Stockholm in 2010 for studies, and like a year later, I went down to Germany again, as I wanted to do, and I want to do now because of Wacken Open Air. So I went to Wacken, and on the way down, I met Sten Oskar and Pamela. They were on the same bus as me, and it was a festival bus, so it was insane. And we don't really know what happened, but but when we kind of woke up down in Germany 16 hours afterwards, we were great friends, and that was basically the start of it. And a few months later, they announced that their drummer had quit, and they wanted a new one. So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll reach out to them. I'll do a little thing, show what I can do, show what I can't do, and just let's try." And I've been kind of stuck with them ever since, and I'm never looking back.
Right. So can you explain a little bit more about the name of the band, Midvinterblot? Is there a specific meaning or the reason they came up with that name?
Yeah, absolutely, sure. Midvinterblot, as it's called in Swedish, is actually an old Viking or a pagan ritual that was performed every winter solstice. Although in reality they performed it somewhere in January, but while the winter solstice is in December. But it was basically midwinter sacrifices or midwinter feasting, generally. Sure, sometimes there were human sacrifices, but mostly it was about cattle and things like that. It was a classic Yule feast. I think in Sweden we still call Christmas Jul.
Right.
And that's kind of where it came from. So on one hand, we have that. I think it's such a perfect name, so I have no idea why no band had taken it before. I heard that there's a punk band called it as well, but they're gone. But,
yeah, it's a pretty cool
it basically
name.
means Christmas party.
Yeah,
in a more modern sense, yeah. But originally, it's a very like when you hear the name Midvinterblot and you know what the words mean, you realize, this is first off, you know that this is a metal band. Because you can't call yourself Midvinterblot and play anything else, really. Right. And secondly, you know that there will be some like aggression involved in it. It won't be a mellow metal band either. And thirdly, it will probably be a party somewhere around there. And I have no idea why no one had combined that before us. Yeah. Because I think it's the perfect band for a folk metal band. Like Midvinterblot. It's
a pretty cool name. That's why excellent. I asked about that, because I was like, yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, so what other music do you listen to currently? Do you have anyone that inspires you or that you're a fan of right now?
Personally, I listen to most music. I have very little to. I don't object to music. I was very elitistic before, and because when I was young, I felt that, or young, I'm still young, but when I was a child or a teenager, I was very like, yeah, this has to be aggressive, and this has to be brutal, and this has to be, all of those teenage things. But nowadays, I listen to a lot of actually like singer-songwriter music, especially Nordic music, and Nordic pop music and Nordic rock as well, but actually more of the atmospheric or ambience. But when it comes to metal, I'm a huge fan of a band called Rautier, which is a Swedish industrial metal band fronted by one of Sweden's foremost like metal personas at the moment, or metal characters almost. Is a man called Per Hulkoff, and he's fantastic in a very arranged way. So he's kind of that kind of music is kind of the balance to the nicer things I go for. And then, but in generally, I listen to most things, and then I kind of pick and choose what to listen to at what moment.
Yeah, I noticed that with your music. I like how you guys kind of use the harmonic elements mixed with the heavy metal. I think that's really cool. You get both sides of the emotions there. I think that's really neat. Yeah, I enjoy that, and that's something that's very. We planned that. Like it's very. What's the word for it? Not thought of, but almost. It's gone now, but very planned out, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. But it's a very it's something that we basically sat down and decided. It's evolved organically, and since we have one main songwriter who basically makes the bass for every song that we play. It has kind of followed an organic pattern as he has evolved as a songwriter. But then again, we work through everything, and it's always like, right, this part is extremely melodic, or this part is so harmonious. So now we need something else. So let's brutalize this part instead, and so on and so forth, until we create this whole of it. So that's something that we've been working on, especially now that we've decided to focus on choirs, like male choirs a lot, and not in the symphonic way, but actually making sure that what we're playing in the studio or what we're recording, that should be able to be performed live without hiring 12 extra people to do it. So
right. So I know you guys just released your new album, Skymning, last December. That's pretty cool. Exactly. I was just listening to a few songs on there. Do you have any events or plans in the future for like live events or festivals planned out, or?
Yeah, sure. We're actually kind of we're trying to make everything come together, but there is this planned event in the Czech Republic in the end of May, and I believe you have contact with that guy, right?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yep, he actually put me in contact with you. He's trying to put together a festival.
Exactly.
Antonio?
Antonio, exactly. And I think it's the full name is Angry God Production or something.
Angry God Productions. Okay.
If I don't misremember completely, but yeah. So we're going there together with Grimner from Sweden, as well as two other bands that will ride along completely. I think they're called Warbell and Svaskalver, and Warbell are Polish and Svaskalver are Russian, and then we'll have a local band at each place, and it's three venues, 3 nights. So that's something we're really looking forward to. But besides that, we're focusing on getting gigs, really, and we've had some contacts. There will be a couple of gigs in Sweden in the future, but beyond that, we're actually more planning for the fall. We haven't really been able to get the name out as well as we'd like, so festivals are difficult, especially in a country like Sweden, because Swedes don't really care for folk music, or they don't care for folk metal,
right?
For some reason,
they're either or. Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. We're kind of immersed in it, so we don't really see it as something unique and exotic. And I think that's actually a selling point when it comes to music like folk metal, because it's extremely accessible. I find folk metal a very accessible style, and if you have the interest, you can for anything. Like if you like violins or if you like accordions, you will find something there. If you like traditional music, you will find it there. But if you like metal, if you like the brutality of it, the aggression, or even if you just like the passion of it, right, you'll find that as well. So it's more a matter of not being able to we don't really have that kind of base for it, I suppose. But that's actually a fun thing, by the way, if I can go off on a tangent for this. Stefan, our wonderful bass player and songwriter, he was at a bar a few months ago, it could be a half a year ago or something, and one of Sweden's prime song, how would you say it? He's a musician, and he's an event manager, and he's a restaurant owner, and he's a metalhead, but he's also into Eurodisco. Like, he's like one of those
big entrepreneur. Like,
exactly, he's a musical entrepreneur. That's actually good. And he has a Viking bar in Stockholm. He was apparently talking to a friend about let's put together a folk metal supergroup. So we're actually feeling that, all right, the tides may have turned, but let's make sure that we actually ride the wave.
Yeah. So I don't know if you.
So hopefully something will come out of that.
Yeah. It definitely takes time and patience to get good work out. I was just wondering if you're interested in like providing some music for some future projects that may be used in some videos or projects, in the future that we put together. I'm creating a kind of Norse God series. I think that would relate pretty good to, to the video. I mean, we'll show it to you beforehand and everything, but I was just wondering if you guys were open to some kind of collaboration or working with us in the future.
Yeah, I suppose that. Well, this is a very democratic band, so I will, of course, run it through the other guys. But it sounds like something that we would definitely do, and I am very positive for it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a good way to get your guys' work out there, and as well as help us. We're kind of promoting each other, so I think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think so. It sounds great. So. We'll look into it. Let's make sure that we'll keep in touch.
Yeah. So the last question I kind of had for you was, did you have anything that you wanted to say or any advice for some future upcoming artists that are thinking about pushing it to the next level? Well, I mean, just in your personal experience,
I would say that. Yeah, absolutely. I would say always take advice from others. Like, sure, absolutely, go your own way, do your own thing. Make sure that you have your focus and you have your drive for everything. But nothing. We're not islands. People are not islands. We're always together. We're always creating together. And two people actually sharing ideas and going forward with it will probably be better than some of their parts. So I would say, take advice, share things. Make sure that what is presented is great. Basically, make sure it's great, and be critical of your own work. Not self-critical in the way that says, "Yeah, all right, I am terrible," or "No one will like this, but this is me." Instead, just say, "Right, this was kind of bad, or this was kind of good, but how will I make it better next time? How will I advance? How will I evolve and develop in this?" Like, so always take advice, and take weird advice. Like, go another route, go another way, find a way. Be like water, find a way.
Right. Yeah, that's good advice. Kind of get out of your comfort zone, because you don't know what you can do still. So yeah, it's good advice.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's how we work all the time. We're always trying to right, we had something. How will we improve this? Not like it's not good enough. It's often good enough. But how will it be beyond good enough? Right. Like that's how I think you need to reason. Am I breaking up, by the way?
No, you're good. Sounds good. I think. Yeah, I didn't want to take up too much of your time today, so I think we covered pretty much some good questions here. So I just thanks for getting involved with this. I'll try to look for when you guys perform live. Maybe we'll be in touch, and I can kind of share that around and get some more attention to that.
Absolutely, that'll be great. But I have one question for you, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did you think about the album?
Yeah, I like what is it? Galman is, and the name of the album, the name song Skymning, the actual song Skymning.
Yeah, Skymning. I pronounce it skymning, but they call it skymning because I'm from the north of Sweden, so we have a harder.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I would like more of the, how it starts out harmoniously and then goes into the heavy metal. Not too much hard metal all the time, but I do like the mix. So most of your mix songs I really do like. So I would, if you could take any advice from me, I would say try to work towards that, because like you said, it's like the people are either light or heavy, and if you kind of mix the both, you can kind of catch the whole crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. I mean, that's great advice, and I'll keep that in mind, definitely. But that's how it should be. Like, you want to be, as a listener, you want to be surprised. You want to feel that you're somehow safe, but you still want to be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, so what you
At
guys...
least I think that's...
What you guys are doing is awesome. Like, I mean, there's no limit, so I mean, I would say just continue doing what you're doing. It's freezing outside, so I won't take up too much of your time. Thanks for doing this, and hopefully we'll be in touch soon about working on some future projects.
Absolutely and definitely. I would say that I'm positive that we will work together, and this will be great.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, man. I will talk to you soon.
Yeah. Also, I'll see you around. Take care.
All right. See ya.